The Raiders would like to break that containment with Allen, either getting him outside on the run or on the swing pass to the outside. We'll keep a good eye on that during the day, Dick.
With a 3-4 defense, it figures they'll send those outside linebackers on various dogging schemes. It is a first down at the 27. First carry by Frank Hawkins, and he does get outside to the 36-yard line and a gain of 9. Hawkins from the University of Nevada, Reno, where he was the number 3 all-time NCAA ground gainer, over 5,000 yards.
Well, it wasn't Marcus Allen, but it was his running mate, and that's exactly what the Raiders are going to try to do today, to break the containment of those linebackers who are trying to force upfield. The linemen in this 3-4 alignment very aggressive too. This is a pressure defense, a very pressurized kind of defense.
See Klecko lined up right on the nose of Dave Dalby. A little bit of an angle a la Joe Green at Pittsburgh a few years ago. Allen has the first down and more, tripped up at the 42-yard line. First down for the Raiders as they move with the opening kickoff and are now near midfield.
The Jets are angling that nose man. You can see number 73 in the middle of your picture. He's kind of just chopped off on an angle. It puts him at a disadvantage with that kind of blocking, where the guard can block down on him and just pin him to the inside. You also then saw Mickey Marvin leave Klecko and go on out into block someone else. There's Klecko again setting up with that angle. Bud Carson came from Pittsburgh to Los Angeles. He's established that same defense here.
First down pass by Plunkett, and his receiver Dokie Williams slipped out at the 48 of New York, and the pass out of bounds. Let's run down the early games and some finals certainly of interest. The Oilers, we'll see them next week against Washington, knocking off Miami 26-23. Seattle squeaks by at Cincinnati 28-24. Final, the Giants shut out the Eagles 21-0. And another final, Pittsburgh mauling Indianapolis 45-3, and we understand Mark Malone had 5 touchdown passes in that game, 3 to Louis Lips, and there's Gastineau, the all-pro and leading sack man the last 2 years in the NFL, in a defensive left end. Allen hit the backfield, gets away, 45-50. He's to the 40 and all the way to the Jets' 38-yard line, Marcus Allen. And I believe he broke out of the grasp of Marty Lyons, who had him in the backfield, trapped for a loss.
And he broke 2 tackles on the play. Also broke away from Harry Hamilton, the safety. This is a play where Marcus is designed to go to the right. It's stopped up. Lyons bumps him early. There's Hamilton, 39, getting a piece of him. But Marcus simply knew he couldn't make anything to the right, broke it back to the left. And that's what a great running back and great speed can do for you.
We see the newest member of the Raiders in the game for the first time, number 86, Jim Smith. He's to the bottom of your picture, just out of range at the moment. Smith, the former star with the Steelers, played behind Stallworth and Swan. He went to the U.S.
Number 16
play of the game, apparently. And Pete Rose, 1 hit away from moving Ty Cobb into second place. And, of course, stay with us. Well, if that happens, we'll be switching you back to that great moment in baseball history to be set maybe today. Marcus Allen on 1st and 15 after the delay of game, picking his way close to the 5 yards they lost on the penalty before Barry Bennett, playing on the defensive end side that normally would be occupied by Gastineau, can make the tackle.
Todd Christensen, number 46 at the top of your screen, working right there on Marty Lyons. Look at Lyons, the second play in a row that Lyons has had a handful of Allen's jersey and misses him. But look at Allen just pick his way out there, using that good blocking up front. I mean, the defense was there. He just waited, and then stepped up in, made some yardage on the play.
3 minutes gone, opening quarter, no score. Raiders look at second and a long 10. Allen again, tripped up at the 36-yard line. Lyons got a little more of him this time, knocked him off his pin.
Dick, that penalty just moments ago for delay of game against the Raiders would cause us to talk about the fact that the referees are picking up the pace with which they're marking the ball. And if you talk to the offensive coordinators around the league, they say it's almost like playing with a 25-second clock. 30 seconds clock is still used, but with that quick marking, they don't have nearly as much time to get the play onto the field and get that ball snapped.
It's like the college game. 3rd and long. Plunkett. Fumble. And it's the Jets who have it, and very nearly wide for a touchdown. A saving play by a Raider lineman, I believe Charlie Hanna, who tackled Lance Mell, who had a clear field otherwise. Or are they going to call it an incomplete pass? Apparently going to call that an incomplete pass. Oh.
Give you a peek at it from your vantage point at home. Plunkett is back to pass under pressure now from Rudolph. Is that Rudolph from the backside?
That's Ben Rudolph.
Yeah, it is Ben Rudolph. Rudolph smacked him. The official saying that his hand had started forward,
but the ball wasn't in it. Ray Guy to punt. He'll kick from around the 47. We'll show you that play again. Plunkett. Kirk Springs, I believe, is the deep man. Guy aiming it for the sidelines. It was Minter that was deep, and a great kick to the 3-yard line for Ray Guy. 33 yards, no return, and the Jets will start from deep in their own end at the 3-yard line. In comes Young. Meanwhile, San Diego strikes early in the first quarter at Buffalo from the 3. It's McNeil, a lone setback behind O'Brien. And Freeman McNeil, who played his college ball here for UCLA in the Coliseum, gains 3. The lineup: O'Brien, the quarterback. In his second year out of University of California, Davis has Fields, who did not play in the entire preseason, the veteran at center, Sweeney and Alexander at guard, and Bingham and Banker, 2 new tackles, with McElroy and Powell not signed. Sohn and Townsend outside. Schuler is the tight end. McNeil and Tony Page, the running backs. Although they're going with Rocky Cleaver, 2 tight ends deep in their own end. Freeman McNeil close to the 10-yard line, where it will be 3rd and a long 3. Matt Millen made the tackle. Here is the Raider defensive alignment. They also used the 3-4. Paquel has replaced Reggie Kinlaw on the nose. Alzado and Long, 2 familiar names on the outside. Pro Bowler Martin and Van Pelt. Outside backer with McKenzie, a rookie, Reggie McKenzie, and Matt Millen. Inside, Haynes and Hayes at the corners. McElroy and Davis are at safety. 3 of the 4, of course, making the Pro Bowl last year. Everyone but Mike Davis. No score. 3rd down, a long 3. Kurt Sohn in motion. O'Brien's first pass. He's in trouble, and down he goes. Rod Martin from his linebacker position with a sack.
The Jets brought in Zeke Rakowski to help O'Brien work on his movement in the cup. This is the kind of thing that trapped him repeatedly last year. Watch him trying to get out of there. Not quick-footed. He's done a better job this year of avoiding the rush, but could not avoid Martin, who blitzed in from the left side, moved all the way across to pick up that sack.
Jeff Barnes also, number 56, in on that sack. Dave Jennings, who punted with the New York Giants until this year. High snap, and he did a good job and a great kick under the circumstances. Clay Montgomery all the way back to his 43, to the 50, to the 45. Might go now. 30 and down at the 25-yard line. Clay Montgomery. So the Raiders, on an excellent kick return, are deep in Jets territory with 8:58 remaining in the first quarter.
And in black, Kerry Glenn, number 35, that set up that beautiful return by Clay Montgomery. That's the kind of special teams play that you need to get an edge in a ball game. The Raiders have always played well on special teams, as have the Jets.
In the fourth quarter, the Super Bowl champions, a favorite and a heavy one at Minnesota, in a struggle with the Vikings, 21-all late in their contest. The Raiders, no score, but an excellent position of first down at the Jets' 26-yard line. Marcus Allen dropped at the 24 after a gain of 2. Joe Klecko, aided by number 55 Charles Jackson, playing on that outside spot for Rusty Gilbo.
Interesting, Dick, in talking to both coaches, one of the first things they mentioned was the offensive lines. Again, that's always true. You need to control that line of scrimmage. That's something that the Raiders thought they lost last year with this offensive line. Interesting today that they are really going back to the grinding game to try and reestablish that.
Well, we'll get back to that score you just saw. Plunkett takes those 37-year-old legs out of bounds at the 17-yard line, very close to a first down, a scramble of 7. Well, the two Super Bowl teams, Miami has lost at Houston, and the 49ers, the defending champions, down by a touchdown at Minnesota.
7 yards.
I saw that picture of a rather young-looking Jim Plunkett in his 15th year. He looks a lot more active, a lot stronger physically to me this year than he did at any time last year. A lot of injury problems last year. He seems to be in much better condition this year, which is good news to Raider fans.
His numbers from last year, 3rd and a yard and a half. Allen climbing over the top for a first down at the 15-yard line. Kyle Clifton from TCU, number 59, and 39 Harry Hamilton with a stop.
Changing from a 4-3, and the Jets were one of the outstanding advocates of that defense, even under Walton for his first couple of years, to a 3-4 is a major undertaking. But Carson has really had to change basically 9 of the 11 positions on the field, and every player has had to make a lot of adjustments. They are not yet comfortable with this 3-4 defense.
Midway through the first quarter, first down at the 15. Plunkett in trouble, and they have him wrapped up. Number 78, Barry Bennett, played at Concordia, Minnesota, has the sack on first down. Updating other action on this, the first week of the National Football League regular season. Kansas City leading all the way, and now with a 27-point bulge at New Orleans in the fourth quarter, and New England leads by 6 against the Packers in the fourth quarter. Lots of high-scoring games.
A lot of explosive performance on this opening day.
A loss of 7 on first down, make it 8, 2nd and 18. Frank Hawkins, that didn't fool the Jets a bit, and he slammed down at the 20-yard line. Ben Rudolph spearheading the defensive charge, 3rd and long. Let's go to Bob Costas. Pete Rose, what a story. The man who might go on and get a few hundred more before he decides to hang it up.
He makes us feel very young, doesn't he?
He does. 3rd and 16 for Plunkett. Lots of time, and down he goes. From the backside, Bennett again, and what a first quarter Barry Bennett has had. He had only 4 sacks all last year. 2, by the way, of Dan Marino. He has 2 in this sequence.
He's playing today basically because of the injury to Mark Gastineau, and he is powering over from that right tackle position. That's Davis over there in place of an injured Shelby Jordan. Boy, Plunkett went down hard too. Yeah, I don't blame you for being excited. 2 that quick, that's great.
Chris Barr will try a 43-yard field goal out of Mark Wilson's hold. It is no good. He hooks it to the left. So the Jets able to hold the Raiders after that fine punt return by Montgomery. The Raiders drove within the 15-yard line, but they come away empty. 43. Chris Barr, the Jets take over, thrown 26. O'Brien to the sidelines, incomplete. Looking for JoJo Townsell on that side. It's interesting, the matchups, the cornerbacks with the wide receivers. Kurt Sohn in his NFL career has two catches. JoJo Townsell is playing in his first NFL game, none obviously. Haynes at one corner with 35 interceptions. Hayes at the other with 33. They have 66 more catches than the Jets wide receivers.
We'll also be keeping an eye on Fields and Piquel, because you've got to control the middle in this 3-4 defense. You want to keep a team from running the football, and that's right where they're headed, Dick.
And Freeman McNeil, short yardage on 2nd down and 10.
I talked to Bill Piquel, and Piquel, of course, comes in now with added responsibility. Was used basically as a pass rusher last year. Now that Kinlaw is gone, he's in there full time. He's a big man for a nose tackle, long-legged, which is a disadvantage for him on the running game. But you know, he knows that the pressure is on him. I said, how do you feel? He said, well, we all know where they're going to try and run. And here they are, hammering at the middle today.
3rd down and 7. Piquel, who led the Raiders with 12.5 sacks last year. A little draw, and Hester is tripped up. Johnny Hector from Texas A&M as they had the Raiders looking pass and hoped to fool them with the draw. Doesn't work. A gain of only a yard, and on 3rd and 4th down and 6 the Jets will have to give up the ball on a Jennings punt. His first punt was for 54 yards after he had saved a safety. That high snap almost going out of the end zone. Kicked at 54, but it was returned 32 by Montgomery, who was back at the 28-yard line in Raider territory.
He really outkicked his coverage. That's very dangerous against these Raiders.
10 men up front for the Raiders. Not a good kick. High, wobbly, fair catch. You saw the wave of the arm. New rule this year. You can't just put your hand up. You must wave it on the fair catch. 37-yard line when the Raiders take charge. Air-conditioned bench of the Raiders, and the scoreboard's been cool. Nothing lit up yet. No score. 4:24 remaining in the first quarter. Raiders begin from their 38-yard line after the punt by Jennings of 33 yards. Play action. And then the throw to the tight end Christensen, who is to the 47-yard line and close to a first down. Christensen, who caught 80 last year, was the NFL leader the year before. The Bears have rallied to beat Tampa Bay 38-28. And New England holds on to defeat the Green Bay Packers 26-20. It is short of first down, second down, and a yard for the Raiders. And they like this situation. It's a chance for Plunkett to unload if he so desires a free down. Goes wide. Doki Williams, and a first down at the Jet 43-yard line. Bobby Jackson on the coverage. 10 more yards for Plunkett.
The Raiders very happy to have Doki Williams back in the lineup. He's been injured. And of course the youngsters Moffitt and Hester, 2 top draft picks for the Raiders, have been carrying most of the action. But Doki Williams has really come on as a receiver in the NFL. Excellent speed and body control.
Mark Gastineau in the game on first down at the Jets 44. They mark it. Christensen has about 10 more at the 34-yard line.
Gastineau really playing at an outside linebacking position, and in place of Faroux. You see Bruce Davis long arming him by. What a disadvantage, though, with that cast on his hand. You see that rim around it. Now this is the cast without the casing. You see the thumb being protected, and this is the casing that goes over the cast. That whole thing weighs about 5 pounds on Mark's arm. Look at the size of that. That's just like a great big club he's got out there, but he can't use the hand. It's a real disadvantage.
You can hide a bowling ball in there. Long and wide open is Hester, but he can't get to it as the ball was thrown out of bounds. Jesse Hester, the sprinter from Florida State, the #1 draft pick of the Raiders, and he had beaten his man.
Hester with excellent speed has had a good rookie preseason. They're expecting bigger and better things out of him. Gastineau, of course, is going to be a big part of Bud Carson's 3-4 defense. But with that injury, it's put them behind. They want to feature him not only as a down lineman, but also as a linebacker, moving him around, much as the Raiders moved Ted Hendricks around.
And even Howie Long.
And Howie Long.
3rd and short. Allen, who likes to throw. There it is, a ball to Todd Christensen. First down at the 19. Marcus Allen unloading a strike to Christensen in a 16-yard gain.
So much of what is done on the football field revolves around confidence. Look at Allen here. Great confidence, just waited for his receiver to get open and zip that ball. Number 56, Lance Mell, the man who was covering on Christensen, had no chance on that pass.
For the second time, the Raiders are inside the Jets 20. Came away empty the last time. Oop, little mix-up there, and Allen will turn it into a gain anyway. Bumped out of bounds inside the 19-yard line. The thing about that run pass option for Allen, normally when a halfback has that play called, he's so eager to throw it, his feet are moving around, but Allen sat in there like a quarterback and waited for Christensen to break open.
Very calm. He's pointing to his helmet. We see that. I don't know. It means he didn't hear something, I think. I think what he's saying is he didn't hear the call. I bet that was an audible that he missed. He's pointing to his ears. I think he didn't hear a call.
2nd and 9. He still got a yard out of it. 2 minutes remaining, first quarter. Block it over the middle to Allen. And Allen is to the 1-yard line. Ball is dead. Allen stretching, trying to make that a touchdown, but comes up a yard short in the grasp of Harry Hamilton, number 39.
Allen just swinging out of the backfield there. Harry Hamilton, the strong safety, trying to cover him. That's a mismatch right there. Boy, does he smell that goal line. Watch him stretch. Look at that. Well, referee ruling that his knee had touched before he got that ball stretched across the goal line, but all he has to do is break the plane, and technically it's a touchdown.
Boy, Allen, he throws a pass, then he runs, then he catches a pass. 3 straight plays, and now he dives toward the end zone and has a touchdown. Raiders. Well, those last 4 plays could not better demonstrate the versatility of this outstanding athlete, Marcus Allen.
Watch him just go airborne here in the arms of Jackson, the outside linebacker, but he keeps his balance as he comes down. Russell Carter, 27, also fighting to get a piece of him, but Marcus got that ball across the goal line for the touchdown.
Chris Barr attempting the extra point out of Wilson's hold, and a 62-yard drive in 8 plays. It took the Raiders just over 3 minutes for the first score of the game. 7-0 Los Angeles. Coliseum, and he's seen his son show his total versatility on that last touchdown drive. Kick comes down. It is Ani Elder. And he's out across the 25 to the 26. Elder, a rookie from Memphis State and a number 3 pick. I'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching Kansas City and New Orleans, and the Chiefs have beaten the Saints 47-27.
Here you're getting a chance to watch how the Raiders have gone out in front, 7-0. Marcus Allen fighting out of the grasp of Charles Jackson to fight his way into the end zone. Jets have the ball.
Freeman McNeil. And the Raiders, who said that they were going to zero in on McNeil, stop the run, have been able to do that in the first quarter. Let's go to Bob.
In the back, too. Shelby Jordan is a man that they would like to have in there, but has got some abdominal problems. Probably be ready next week to play.
The Jets took that timeout with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. 2nd and 8. O'Brien looking long. Had a man down there, Kurt Sohn, who had broken free from Haynes, but the pass too long.
It was interesting in talking to Rich Kotite, the offensive coordinator for the Jets, about working against the bump and run. The Raiders really kind of unique in the way they attack those outside receivers, and he said, you know, the quarterback has to bird dog the receiver. In other words, he's got to be patient, give that receiver time to get open, and then throw on the break. The timing was just off there, but it was interesting, the philosophy, bird dogging the receiver.
3rd and 8. O'Brien has a man open. It's Schuler, the tight end, and he's out of bounds with the Jets' initial first down at the 44-yard line. A 16-yard throw to Schuler, who played his college ball at Penn State. The Lions with a big win yesterday against Maryland.
One thing the Jets have on the field is a very good core of tight ends. Schuler, leading receiver for them last year, and certainly capable of making those good catches up inside. They've got to utilize that in this ballgame.
Townsend to the left, Sohn right. Page and McNeil behind O'Brien. Good play action. He going for it all to Sohn, and too far at the 15-yard line. He had a step on McElroy and Haynes.
Going back to comment just a moment ago about on them and bumped them at the line.
Zone to the left this time. Townsell right. And McNeil looking for a block. And McElroy came up from a safety position to twist him out of bounds at the 48-yard line. A gain of 3. Mike Davis there as well, with 6 seconds left in this first quarter.
A great deal of respect among those black-shirted Raiders for Freeman McNeil. Almost every one of them, when you mention this Jets offense, would say 24. They'd say McNeil. Quickness. That he really is an amazingly quick back.
5 yards on the play, so it's 3rd and 5 at the 49. McNeil has gained just 17 yards on 5 tries. Good protection for O'Brien. Now it breaks down, and Lyle Alzado has his first sack of 85. That comes at the end of the first quarter here at the Coliseum. The Raiders leading the New York Jets 7-0 after 1. On a 1-yard dive by Marcus Allen, leading the New York Jets 7-0, and on 4th and 5 from the Jets 49. Dave Jennings drifting back to punt. Clee Montgomery at the other end stands at the 17-yard line. Double teaming the wide men are the Raiders. They have a return on. Good kick. Driving kick. Montgomery lets it bounce. And that will come out to the 20-yard line. The man who hit the ball went into the end zone. There's a new rule. Last year, that would have been a great play. But the man went into the end zone, and making that play, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Dick, I don't think he touched. Well, they're saying his foot touched down. Now, if he starts outside of the end zone and flies into the end zone and knocks that ball back, it's still going to be legal. But let's see if it's
not this year, Merlin. Not this year. That one wouldn't count despite a great effort. That's the new rule. If you go in the end zone, it doesn't count. You got to bring it out to the 20. So that last year would have been a brilliant play, but not this year. 26-23. Houston beats Miami. Seattle 28, Cincinnati 24. Giants in a shutout, the only of the game of the day. The whitewash. Minnesota upsets San Francisco 28-21. Frank Hawkins getting outside and then shirt tail down and a flag down at the 24, and there may have been a little face mask in there as well. Lance Mel, 56, primary tackler for the Jets. And it will cost 5 or maybe more yards to the Jets defense.
Lance Mel is an example of a guy who really gets hurt in a shuffle that moves people around.
Face mask, number 74 defense. Second down.
Mel, of course, has been an outside linebacker and one of the fine technicians in the NFL, but he's moved inside to a new position now.
The Browns with a rally have tied the Cardinals. They're in overtime. Kansas City 47 points in the first week at New Orleans to win easily. Pittsburgh bombing Indianapolis 45-3. Detroit edging Atlanta 28-27. Here at 7-0 Raiders after the 5-yard penalty and 2nd and short. A pass to Christensen, and incomplete is the call, as he did not pick it off the grass top. Charles Jackson on the coverage. Final, the Bears, who were down, rallied to Tampa Bay to win by 10. New England a winner 26-20 against the Packers. 2 other late games. The Rams down at Anaheim Stadium leading Denver 3-0 in the first, and San Diego 7-3 in front of the Bills at Buffalo in the first. 3rd down and a yard for the Raiders. They use 3 tight ends, Christensen, Parker, and Junkin. And then it's to Allen. Going to be very close, and it appears they marked it past the 30, first down. Boy, that ball looked to be about to leave the grasp of Marcus Allen as he headed into all those white jerseys. Kyle Clifton and company with the tackle.
The New York Jets have lost a little of the quickness in this defense. Certainly with Gastineau out of there, they lose some quickness on that front line. But there's no question they are a strong defensive line, a strong defensive team. More strength perhaps than speed up front. And that comes in particularly on short yardage and goal line situations. And you saw how tough it was to get them out of there on that play.
Now the Raiders have moved the ball much more effectively in this first half, have a 7-0 lead and another first down. Plunkett going deep for Dokie Williams. What a catch by Williams at the Jets 36-yard line. Plunkett to Williams, a beautiful throw and catch.
Number 40, Bobby Jackson, has to be saying to himself, what do you have to do to cover a guy in perfect position? He just glanced back at the wrong moment, and Plunkett dropped that ball. It has to be within a fraction of an inch. It went right over the top of Jackson and into the hands of Williams.
And
a perfect pass.
With that ESP feeling along the sidelines to make sure he stayed inbounds with the catch. 33 yards on the play. Allen, oh my, is he drilled by Joe Klecko. Powering through from his nose tackle position. And that's the kind of play they're looking for from Klecko on the inside.
Joe Klecko has been an all-pro. There's that staggered formation, and you saw him getting away from the center on that one, and Marcus has got a headache, I guarantee you. I mean, that's a free shot. Oh, you love those if you're a defensive tackle, but if you're a running back, you have nothing but pain. You wake up with those dreaming about in the middle of the night.
A loss of 4. Give it to Allen again, and Allen looked as if he wanted to give it to somebody else. He had out there trying to balance himself. There was running room outside, but he'd already committed himself inside, and Marty Lyons secured the elusive Allen for another yard loss.
I mentioned that Joe Klecko has played both outside and inside. I think he has the perfect build for a nose tackle. Not too tall, short legs, extremely powerful upper body. In fact, one of the strongest defensive linemen to play in recent years in the NFL. And he is well adapted to that position, but they've got to keep him healthy.
There you see how he's lined up on the other side of center at the angle on 3rd and long. Plunkett gonna go deep, has a man open. Dokie Williams for a touchdown. On 3rd down and 15. Plunkett finding Williams all alone.
In 7 quarters of football in the preseason, this Raider offense only had 2 touchdowns. The Raider first team offense. Well, they already have 2 here in the early going against the Jets. Dokie Williams, his return to the lineup, certainly important in capitalizing on that particular play.
Hawkins did a good job in knocking Gastineau off on the pass rush. Barr hits the upright, and it's no good, but a flag is down. So Barr, and you saw the movement by the Jets.
79 offense. Try the point again.
So full start. The play is dead on the full start, and that's a tough break for the Jets when the Raiders committed the foul and missed the extra point, and they get a second chance. Somehow that doesn't seem right, says Joe Walton.
Now it says Larry Pasquale, who's the special teams coach. He's closest to your camera here. Of course, the Jets spend a lot of time working on blocks for punts and extra points and field goals. They're very good at it. That's disappointing.
Yeah, this is just another chip shot for Barr, so that really isn't much of a penalty. That's a big break for the Raiders. And of course he nails this one down the middle. Timeout. 12 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half in Los Angeles. The Raiders lead by 2 scores. Working for the Raiders on that drive. 2 long passes to Williams, and now Barr kicking it off. Kerry Glenn a yard deep. And Glenn cannot get to the 20, down at about the 19-yard line. Tackled by Derek Jensen, once again the special teams captain for the Raiders.
Great coverage on that kick. Raiders down very quickly, and with that ball getting into the end zone, you've got that extra yardage to run. That's unusual to be able to keep people inside the 20 anymore.
Now the Jets in the hole, trailing 14-0, and this is right where the Raiders want them to be. O'Brien stays on the ground. Look who's in there. Howie Long greeting Freeman McNeil.
You watched our pregame show. You got a little interview from Howie Long, who talks about being a complete defensive end. playing the run as well as the pass, and that's kind of a jab at Mark Gastineau. The two of them have a running commentary going, but Howie showing a good speed on that particular play as he just chomped in behind. They move him all up and down the line, something that they're going to be doing with Gastineau. He'll play all four of those positions in a pass rushing line style.
And down he goes. This time it's Greg Townsend, who had a big year rushing the passer last season, and in 2 years coming off the bench he has 18.5 sacks for the Raiders.
Well, they watched Howie long on that last play. They double teamed him on that one, knocked him down.
Let's go to New York. Scoring game. Draw play. Not much there for Hector. He's out to the 15-yard line, brings up a 4th down and 19, and there go the flags down as a little push and shove. Mike Davis was the Raider involved.
Mike Davis taking a shot, and that's not very smart. That's the kind of thing that'll get you kicked out of the ball game, although they're pointing back at the Jets. We may not have seen the first part of that play. We certainly saw the retaliation apparently by Davis.
Personal foul, 36 flag.
Okay. Well, there's Mike Davis, the man that was called on. That's the shot we saw. Watch at the bottom of your screen right there. A little slap right there, a shove from Mickey Schuler. Now watch this shot. Coming back right there.
Oh, dear.
Now that's the kind that'll get you tossed out of a ball game right there.
Yeah, a little push and shove that comes with a game. You've been involved in a few of those, but the right hand punch by Davis is not part of it.
That's a lack of control. I mean, you can wait for a shot later in the ball game, but you don't throw one out in the middle of nowhere like that.
Well, it gives the Jets a first down, and the trouble they've had in gaining any yardage, they'll take that break. O'Brien smothered in a sea of black. Rod Martin, the key man, along with Bill Pickel.
It's interesting that the Raiders seem to thrive on adversity. They just really seem to enjoy getting themselves into trouble and fighting back. Boy, they are giving young Mr. Ken O'Brien a full load of the treatment this afternoon. 4 sacks on the day already.
Tony Page, and he runs into that Raider defense, and that penalty certainly has inspired Mike Davis's teammates. Greg Townsend made the tackle. At the 26-yard line, it'll be 3rd down and 15 for Ken O'Brien. His Jets trailing 14-0 with 9:45 left in the first half. Townsell. Great effort by JoJo Townsell trying to go over the top of Lester Hayes, but unsuccessfully. And Hayes thought he had an interception. He could taste that one. So in comes Dave Jennings to punt once again for the New York Jets.
The Jets having terrible problems, as they did in the preseason, when they must throw the football. They simply have been unable to protect their quarterback and give him time to get those receivers open downfield.
Well, plus the fact they're without Lamb Jones and Wesley Walker, and they thought they were deep at wide receiver, and suddenly with the injuries, they're quite thin indeed. Jennings, a wobbly kick and short. Montgomery at the 38. Breaks 2 tackles and finally is down just shy of the 40-yard line. 46 yards on the punt, a 1-yard return, and we have a timeout with 9 minutes and 16 seconds left in the half. From inside their 40, the Raiders leading 14-0. Plenty of time left, 9 minutes plus in this first half. Marcus Allen. Gain of 5 or more. Russell Carter, key tackler from Los Angeles. Let's go back to competitive AFC West. The Raiders, San Diego, Kansas City has won. Seattle has won. Denver playing over at Anaheim against the Rams. Marcus Allen shy of the first down, hit at the 48-yard line by Klecko, and when he gets you you go down in a hurry, as we've seen in the game. Barry Bennett also in on the play. The Raiders don't have a lot of time before their next encounter. They play on Thursday night at Kansas City.
Third down and 1.
Now, after today, a short works week for Flores' crew.
Well, not only the short week, but when you plan the traveling time, that really cuts that week into pieces. Marcus Allen did not have a great preseason. Look at that average, 2.1 as opposed to 6.8 for McNeil. Those numbers are different today.
And he has a first down as he falls forward to the 50-yard line. Needed a yard. He got 2.
You've said this before, Dick, and I think it's worth passing on to our audience again. You can't measure Marcus Allen's value to this team just in rushing average, because he does everything. He catches the ball probably as well as any receiver in football, and he is so dangerous because he can block, he gets good position, good instincts. He's a tough one to know.
We've seen him throw the ball as well as a quarterback can in this game. Leading 14-0 and a first down at the 50. Plunkett to Christensen. What a throw, and a first down at the 16. Russell Carter finally made the tackle. Plunkett was going down in the grasp of the Jets and still threw a perfect rainbow to Christensen.
Jimmy Plunkett, 37 years old, has always had the great feel for these long passes, anticipating the move by Christensen, and Christensen did a good job. Watch him getting away from 56. Lance Mel here and into the secondary. Christensen showing some good speed and a good pattern there to break open.
34 yards on that catch and a first down. Allen slashing to the 13-yard line. Charles Jackson, former Kansas City Chief, making the tackle, number 55. Hamilton with an assist.
The Raiders offense certainly doing a good job of crunching this Jets defense today. And I talked to Bud Carson. It's not easy to change a defense, even within a 3-4, to go from one style to another. You change terminology, you change assignments, you change responsibilities. There are some mistakes out there that have really hurt the Jets today.
Second down, a long 5. Incomplete, as Bobby Jackson able to get a hand in there and knock it away from Jesse Hester.
One of the things that has hurt this Jets defense is the fact that Jackson and Lynn, the two corners, have been out of that lineup. They've had a couple of youngsters playing in there, and they've needed that stabilizing effect. With the two veterans back in there, they can now kind of get that defense together. Again, you say, well, playing cornerback in a 4-3 is the same as in a 3-4. Not necessarily true. It's the cooperation and the teamwork between those linebackers and defensive backs that needs to be worked on.
On third and long, it's Marcus Allen who has the first down anyway. So the Jets brought in their pass defenders, and the Raiders just gave it to Marcus Allen, and it's first and goal at the 3.
Number 32, Marcus Allen. Good block by Hawkins. Number 27 on Lance Mel, 56. And that's just, well, I think I could have run through the first part of that hole. I don't think I could have made the yardage at the end that Marcus made, however.
Hawkins really blew Mel out of the way and gave Allen plenty of room. It's first and goal just inside the 3. Allen, touchdown, and it's 20-0 Los Angeles.
The Raiders seem to go in spurts every other year for the last few years. This is the odd year, I guess, Dick.
They certainly have had a very impressive first half. And Allen, you give him that much running room as Henry Lawrence, number 70, who was in the Pro Bowl last year, made the key block on the hole, and Chris Barr adds the extra point. And with 5 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first half, it's the Raiders by 21.
Partly because of his great talent, but I like the complete player next to me, Dick.
Short kick down to Glenn. And he Nice hit from behind by Stacy Turan, number 30, the former Notre Dame star. First down, Jets trailing 21-0. Howie Long, number 75, the all-pro complete player, and this is how he defines the fact that he appreciates his talents run and pass.
Well, my feeling on playing defensive line is one of being a total player. I feel that anything less than that is inadequate. I would feel that playing the pass or just playing the run, I'd be selling myself short and I'd be selling my teammates short. Our defensive scheme is unique, I think, in three-man line fronts in the sense that we play a true three-man line. Miami slants, Seattle slants, they play three-man lines, but they don't play square up. We play it square up, and I feel that playing the total game is a dying art. I think being the total defensive end is a dying art, and I enjoy playing it.
Howie Long, well-spoken, good-looking. He's got the whole package at 25, doesn't he?
He's kind of a throwback, an old-fashioned kind of player. When he talks about playing square up, he's talking about playing nose up or almost nose up on the offensive man. Responsibilities on both sides. He's right in the middle of the line, playing a defensive tackle position right now.
Second down and 6. O'Brien fighting off the defense, and a fine throw and a drop. Is it ruled complete? No, incomplete. Jeff Barnes breaks it up as Schuler unable to hang on. Greg Townsend applying the pressure. It's been as one-sided as those statistics would indicate.
Yeah, we came off the beginning of this show talking about how outmanned these Jets are by the Raiders. There's nothing in those stats that would speak otherwise, Dick.
Now, you can't hide the fact that it's a team being rebuilt, restructured, redesigned, and with key players hurt or not signed, the Jets reflecting their troubles here in Los Angeles. O'Brien able to get it to, who is that, Schuler? Yes, it is Schuler again, but it's going to be shy of the first down, I believe. Well, let's check it. It's going to be close as Schuler lunging for that 33-yard line in the grasp of Mike Davis.
Certainly can't fault these Jets for effort. They are trying. They're doing everything they can, but they simply have not been very effective offensively or defensively so far today.
Schuler's second effort did give a first down to the Jets. 3.5 minutes remaining in this first half. McNeil, just as he saw a little daylight, his feet go down at the 37, a gain of 4. All the scores for you. Houston an upset of Miami. Cincinnati losing to Seattle by 4. The Giants a winner big, 21-0. St. Louis in overtime, 27-24 at Cleveland.
Second down and 6.
Kansas City by 20 at New Orleans. McNeil again to the 40. That'll leave them with a third and about 3.5. Other finals today. Pittsburgh, 5 touchdown throws for Mark Malone, 45-3 against Indianapolis. The Lions by 1 over the Falcons. The Bears came from behind to win at Tampa Bay by 10. New England will play the Bears next week. They defeat Green Bay 26-20. 10-3 the Rams leading Denver at Anaheim. San Diego with a 14-6 lead at Buffalo. You're up to date. Here it's 21-0 Raiders as Freeman McNeil denied the first down. Gains only a yard as Rod Martin once again making an all-pro play at linebacker. 53 Martin.
There he is. And he's a real pro, I'll tell you. Said he was too small at one time. They said you probably can't make it in this league as a linebacker. A lot of people would love to have that too small linebacker playing for him right now.
He was only 200 pounds leaving the University of Southern California. 2-minute warning given here at the Coliseum. 21-0 Raiders. Used. Jennings in punt formation on 4th and 2 with 2 minutes left in the half. Ooh, and they run into him, and that'll cost Lester Hayes. Montgomery at the 15, tripped up and down at the 18-yard line. Appear to be
I don't know what Lester is saying to the officials, but boy, he tracked that official all the way down the field. Call is running into the kicker. Let's take a peek at it. We'll see if now if Lester was blocked into that kicker, it's not a penalty on him. We won't see that part. We will see him
First down.
going into the kicker right. Ooh, no question about. Now watch Lester going to talk to the official.
He's pointing as if he said, hey, someone over there blocked me into him.
Well, now the other thing, if it's a very bad snap and that punter has to go clear out of his track, he'll lose. Now there's nobody blocking on him here. No, I think
he's quick. The judge.
Lester's words I don't think affected that official's judgment at all.
Not the judge's court. That's an official's court in his call. So the Jets have another first down on a penalty. O'Brien trying to get something on the board here in the final 2 minutes of the first half, and all he gets is a licking from that defensive line. And number 99 Jones and 61 Stalls, two backup linemen, make the stop. NFL 85 to run down all the scores and big plays of this first Sunday of football in the NFL. 125 flag down, and the toss to Schuler along the sidelines before he's finally knocked out of bounds at the Raider 35, which, if it counts, will be the deepest penetration by the Jets in this first half. 18 yards if.
Delay of game, 12 men on the field for defense.
So it's against the Raiders, and the Jets will take the play undoubtedly, and a first down at the Los Angeles 35-yard line.
Fantastic first half here. Certainly looking at the problems that this offense has had in the first part of the year in the preseason, they have to be very pleased with what's happened here, but they would very much like to carry that full 21 points into the locker room.
O'Brien has 3 completions in the half, all to Schuler. Looks for him again, incomplete at the 23. Davis on the coverage, but Howie Long and Rod Martin were on O'Brien as he threw the football.
Tremendous pressure. Raiders, in terms of going after the corning and even triple teaming opportunities to open up other people.
1:15 left in the first half, 21-0 Raiders. Johnny Hector just short yardage, and the Raiders have just closed down the Jets running game totally in this first half. 2-3 yards, maybe occasional 4, and that's it. With less than a minute remaining, third down and 7. O'Brien can't get out of the trap, and down goes a flag with O'Brien at the 40-yard line. Sean Jones, 99. Long was there. They brought Martin in on a blitz.
So hard to teach a quarterback awareness, the sense, the feel of being able to move around to an open place in that pocket. I don't know if there was an open place that time. That's the 5th sack of this first
64
half.
offense. Penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
Insult to injury. Greg Bingham, 64, called with holding. The man who's been trying to work with O'Brien to teach him to move in that pocket. Former Packer quarterback Zeke Murkowski, one of my teammates in Los Angeles back in the early 60s, and he has certainly helped O'Brien, but hasn't helped enough for this first half.
Well, this would be an enormous field goal for Leahy. If good, it's a 57-yard attempt. His longest ever is 52. He hits it off the crossbar. No good. Oh, that's a tough break for Leahy. The Raiders pick it up. The play's dead after it hits the crossbar, but Leahy misses by just a couple pebbles on the ball of hitting a 57-yarder that would have been 5 yards longer than his career best.
Well, things just have not bounced at all in the direction of the Jets this morning. Final insult here. That ball goes up, but it goes back the other direction.
Leahy says, come on, just a little more, and I turned down the toast with my breakfast and room service this morning. 44 seconds left in the half. Got a short pass to Hawkins to the 42-yard line, a gain of about 3 or 4, and then timeout called by the Raiders with 34 seconds left in this first half. Here's the play that you missed.
Go back and take a quick look at it. Plunkett has been getting a great deal of time from his offensive line. That pass, a control pass up the middle, hoping to stretch the Jets defense and then get some yardage with their run. They moved it up to the 42. Dick, you see Plunkett on the sideline picking up a play. Something that's very evident in this ball game and talking to these two teams. Expectations. The Raiders, a team that expects to be in the playoffs. The Jets, a team that would be thrilled to be in the playoffs. Coming off 2 7-9 seasons, they really are a team that has to get that momentum going, and it would be enough perhaps just to get there. Well, the Raiders are thinking Super Bowl, and certainly they have Super Bowl rings to prove that they can make that dream a reality. They've started the season with that thought firmly in mind.
Marcus Allen sliding down shy of the 45-yard line, and both teams, a common denominator, did not finish well last season. The Raiders in their last 9 games were 4-9 after a 7-1 start. The Jets started 6-2 and then faded to 7-9. So unlike some other clubs, Cincinnati, Kansas City, they're not building on the momentum of late '84. They're having to start fresh. That is the end of the half. Final seconds, 3-2-1. All Los Angeles Raiders with a 21-0 lead at the intermission. Well, the Raiders, a strong, experienced team. The Jets trying to fit all the right pieces together. And in this first 30 minutes, perhaps predictably, all Raiders.
No question that the Raiders not only continued their dominance on defense. They played well on defense throughout the preseason, but they did something in this first half that they needed to do. They reestablished their offense, their ability to score, and they have punished the Jets with their offensive team today.
And Jim Plunkett, the veteran, played as well as we saw him all last year. Dokie Williams, a couple of big catches. Stay tuned for the news coming up after these words from your local station.
It's been all Raiders in the first half of this ball game.
257 to 48 in total yardage.
The one thing, and I'll make the point again, Dick, the place that the Jets have had their biggest trouble is throwing the football when they have to throw. That means they are not good at playing catch-up football.
Barr to kick it off. Glenn and Elder, 2 rookies, are deep. It's a short kick this time, but takes a tough bounce. And the scramble inside the 5, and the Jets are able to fall on the football. Oh, that one had trouble written all over it as Barr sent down a knuckleball, and Glenn and Elder waiting for the bounce that didn't come, and Elder finally fell on the ball.
A couple of youngsters back there, and they just didn't have their act together. It looked like Elder thought that Glenn was going to come across and pick up that football. Well, suddenly that ball is bouncing on the ground. It's free. It looked like the Raiders had a shot at it here. Ooh, right there. Page,
Tony
number 49. Tony Page doing a good job of jumping on that football.
The Jets, as if they need problems, start from their own 3-yard line. O'Brien throwing after bobbling the ball, and it's a first down to Schuler, and O'Brien is hurt.
What a great play by Ken O'Brien. That ball knocked out of his hand. He grabbed the ball, got control of it. Now watch O'Brien getting tremendous pressure up the middle. Howie Long from this side. It's Alzado from the opposite side. Martin, 53, on the blitz. Looked like the ball just popped out of his hand.
Long grabbed his arm as he was trying to throw, and then Piquel finished him off, and it was Woody Page, the fullback, at the other end, who made the catch and a first down at the 16-yard line.
Well, it's not how, it's how many, and that's a first down. Maybe that'll get him going here.
With Townsell in motion, it's Freeman McNeil out to the 22-yard line, and a 6-yard gain. That's about the longest of the afternoon on the ground for New York. Matt Millen made the tackle. Let's reset the defense for the Raiders. They have Long, Piquel, and Alzado up front. Van Pelt and Martin, the outside backers. Millen and McKenzie inside. Hayes and Haynes at the corners. Davis and McElroy at safety. O'Brien starts with Page and McNeil behind him. Townsell and Sohn are the wideouts. Schuler, the tight end, on the right side. McNeil again, and he's got a first down. So a couple of good runs. And maybe premature. Let's see if he did get that first down yardage where they spotted. If it's at the 32, he's got the first down. He does.
Well, of course.
Saw that picture of Freeman McNeil. Maybe we can see it again. It reminds me of a comment he made. O'Brien Underneath to Page, and the big fullback rumbling to the 46-yard line and finally hauled down by Brad Van Pelt. 19 yards for Tony Page, the second-year fullback from Virginia Tech.
O'Brien standing back, getting a little more time. Better blocking up front on this play. Just drops it over the center. Page just slanting back to the inside. Gets away from one tackler. Finally, Van Pelt pulling him down with a good tackle.
So from their 3-yard line, the Jets have a first down at their 46. 21-0 Raiders, just the start of the second half. Great throw to Marion Barber, and he's out of bounds on that deep swing at the 37-yard line of the Raiders. Perfect throw by O'Brien as Barber was well covered.
We saw a throw like this by Plunkett in the first half. O'Brien with great touch on that ball. And again, it has to be perfectly thrown. Now, the interesting thing about that, with that arm up in the air by Mike Davis, Barber had to do a great job of just concentrating on that ball to make that fingertip catch.
22 yards and a first down at the Raider 32. By far the most impressive drive engineered by the Jets today, from their 3 to the Raider 32. Play action. Going for Barber again. And Lester Hayes almost with his 34th career interception.
Lester will be upset about that.
Had a step on Van Pelt, but Hayes came over to spoil the Jets' possible fun, and confusion in the huddle apparently. And O'Brien will spend the first, second half.
Who bring you a better personal computer.
Jets on 2nd and 10. It's O'Brien. His arm hit, and that could be a touchdown. Stacy Turan is going to go all the way for the Raiders. Howie Long created the pressure. Stacy Turan, 76 yards. Interception for Los Angeles, and it's 27-0.
Very often, that pressure on the quarterback that does not result in a sack forces the bad throw. It looked like Howie Long actually jarred the arm of O'Brien, allowing Stacy Turan his first scoring interception, his first interception, coming right across. And it looked like, even if they didn't get O'Brien's arm, it looked like he was really covered. That receiver was covered. An ill-advised pass.
And Barr adds the extra point. 11 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the best drive of the Jets throughout the day ends with a touchdown, but by the wrong team for the New Yorkers, as Turan down the sidelines. There wasn't a Jets jersey within 10 yards of him.
It's obvious that Walton had gotten his troops on track. They came out, they got going, they had things moving in their direction. Now let's look and see if there's a shot on the arm here. Rod Martin from the back. It looks, well,
couldn't follow through.
Howie Long right on top of O'Brien, throwing under pressure, made the bad throw, and that's inexperience.
Pretty tough to zip the ball when that man's right there and you don't have room to follow through with your arms. We had almost shot put it out there, and as it fluttered, there was Turan, and that had 6 points written all over it for the Raiders.
And what a downer for that Jet team that was just beginning to get some surge and some enthusiasm over there, only to watch that ball bounce back into the black-shirted Raiders' hands and end up in their end zone.
Well, there's been a figure looming at the peristyle end of the Coliseum, and it didn't have the color of the Jets on it, but might well have been appropriate. All the way into the end zone to Donnie Elder. 10, Squirick and company, and Turan at the 14-yard line. First down for O'Brien, and the Jets get another chance. Well, the Raiders, who put on that good pass rush, and of course the pass rush and interceptions and touchdowns, that's just hand and glove, and there was a good example of it. Not exactly a sack, but with Long right there, O'Brien didn't have the room to make the proper throw. and so is he at the 5-yard line. Brad Van Pelt. 6th sack for the Raiders, and holding against the Jets.
The Raiders, I believe, will decline the penalty.
Number 63 offense. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Banker called for holding, and again, that's 2 calls on the tackles. Bingham with a call early, Banker now, and I'm sure Jets fans might write another little note to those 2 tackles who are holding out.
McElroy and Powell.
18 yards to go.
2nd down, 18. Up the middle goes Tony Page to the 9-yard line. Sean Jones from Northeastern made the tackle.
Sean Jones on the stop.
28-0 the Raiders with 10:45 left in the 3rd quarter here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
The Jets came into this game talking about pressure defense. Well, it's been the stats as keeping the pressure on you, making you make the mistakes and making the big plays for themselves.
O'Brien complete but short of the 1st down at the 22-yard line to Schuler. Boy, one of the interesting statistics here, Merlin, is the fact that the Jets, and it reflects the fact that they're thin on the outside receiving. Their wide receivers do not have a reception yet. It's either been Schuler or a running back.
Yeah, well, that makes the job for the defense that much easier. Wesley Walker had traditionally really hurt this Raider defense. In fact, had been the big weapon against this Raider defense, and with him out of the lineup, their job is much easier.
Jennings has kicked well, 44.8 average on his 4 punts. Montgomery at the 38. Bad kick. Montgomery, good return chance, 45, 50, and finally down at the 46-yard line. Rocky Cleaver from behind made the tackle. 36-yard punt, a 12-yard return. 9:19 left. 3rd.
You might say what's unusual about that. Usually, in fact, very often you can't see those buildings
right
from here.
That's right. We've been here when it really was through the haze. You could discern the outline at best. Frank Hawkins bowling his way inside the Jets 40-yard line. Bobby Jackson at the corner making the stop. Well, Mark Gastineau was in the NBC Superstars that you did and won that event this year, did he not?
No question about his athletic ability. Great speed, tremendous strength. Surprised everyone, I think. Came down, you know, he had a lot of great competition. Smaller and you would think more explosive athletes. Duper and people like Karch Kiraly from the Olympics. Roger Craig was there. Eric Wright was there for the 49ers, but Gastineau walked off with 1st place.
Down goes Frank Hawkins. Lance Mel.
You know, the interesting thing coming out of that competition, one of the other people that had been invited was Howie Long, and they'd kind of been going back and forth. You know, Gastineau has taken some shots from Howie about the fact that he is a one-dimensional player, and of course Gastineau bristles at that because he's very proud of his playing ability. We've got something, or we'll wait for a second to show it to you. You might find it interesting. Gastineau's ready to issue his own challenge to Howie Long.
From the 41, 3rd and 6. Plunkett wide open. Doki Williams inside the 30-yard line, and the flag is down at the line of scrimmage. 13 yards if it counts. Tom Dooley, the referee, will check out the official that tossed the yellow flag. Holding Raiders.
Penalty is indicated against Los Angeles.
Henry Lawrence doesn't agree. Should this game get out of hand, we won't leave you folks in New York if the Jets your team, but for the rest of you folks watching around the country, we might indeed switch to either Buffalo or to Anaheim for the other 2 late games. Go back to the 49 of the Raiders as Lawrence is ticketed for 10.
I don't think Henry agreed with that call.
I kind of agree with you. That's right. Chris, I haven't really seen an NFL player that did agree with the holding call.
Well, some defensive linemen who agree with him, I'll tell you that.
3rd down, 15. Plunkett sensed the pressure, throws to Christensen. Good catch at the 42-yard line. Won't be enough for the first down. Now just the opposite. Of course, he had an option. The outside wasn't closed. You can see Plunkett reacting almost without even looking. He sensed where the open space was.
There's an awareness that is I guess partly an inherited thing, but partly a learned thing. Plunkett really has it. Knows where the open area is. You've seen O'Brien in this game almost in confusion trying to find that open spot and sometimes running right into the defensive man. I think that's part of experience and certainly something that Jim Plunkett does very well in spite of the fact he has limited speed.
Ray Guy, who has punted for over 21 miles in his career.
Yeah.
Somebody liked it. Yeah. It's going to be marked at the 10, 11. Well, not as good as we first thought. To the 15-yard line.
Just before the 15.
Maryland and I will be in Washington, D.C. for the Redskins and the Oilers. Also an outstanding event here on NBC. First down throw by O'Brien is good for about 5 yards to Tony Page. Merlin alluded to the fact that Mark Gastineau won the NFL NBC Superstars competition, and Merlin chatted with number 99 prior to the game today, and Mark's been reading the papers and Howie Long's comments.
Yeah, Merlin, I would like to challenge Howie Long to the 1985 NFL Superstars because he missed it this last year because of an ankle injury that he had at the Pro Bowl. And we might even put up a little out of extra money and see what kind of an overall all-around athlete Howie Long really is. Take care.
He did that in a kind of a low-key way. I think he's suppressing a little emotion. Howie got a chance to respond to Gastineau a little later. We'll give that to you after this play. But there's a little thing going back and forth, and it's, you know, when you've got two fierce competitors, and these guys are about as competitive as anybody you'd find on this field, and they're sensitive to what's being written in the papers. Mark really sensitive about that one-dimensional thing.
O'Brien down in the grasp of Brad Van Pelt. Van Pelt, the former New York Giant. That's the second time he's come in on a dog successfully. 7 sacks for the Raiders totally. Well, Howie Long had his rebuttal to that of Mark Gastineau. And he did it with a smile on his face.
10-yard sack by Brad Van Pelt.
Well, in reaction to Mark Gastineau's challenge in the Superstars, I love Mark Gastineau. I want you to love him too. I'm doing his eulogy after today's game.
Montgomery at the 45.
Eulogy after the game, he said.
Now that's a little unfair since Mark is hurt, but you can see the feeling that goes back and forth.
Line drive, and it's certainly returnable. 50, 45, Montgomery 40, 37-yard line. Flag down, which may bring that one back, but boy, that's a lot of running room for the punt return man. Matt Munger, a 8th-round draft pick from Oklahoma State, made the tackle in the play. 36-yard punt, 15-yard return. Jennings is not happy about the way he's punted the last couple. He had a good first half.
There was a call against the Raiders on that, an illegal block, which will take it back. But the Raiders have started in excellent field position. Not only tough for this Jets defense in a sense that the Raider offense is playing well, but the Raiders have also gotten the ball in good position all day long.
Glowing 28-0 lead with 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Raiders have the ball at the 40-yard line. And it's a long 16-game run. But for the Jets, they're going to be left in the blocks after this first Sunday. The only score of the second half, a 76-yard touchdown interception run by Stacey Turan. 2 tight ends used by the Raiders. Trey Junkin in there, and that's Marcus Allen driving for 304. Next week, as we come to the conclusion of an exciting baseball year, the Cardinals, our baseball game of the week, NBC. Well, that was quite a game yesterday. The Mets and Dodgers had a little extracurricular activity as well. 9th inning win for the Dodgers. Great coverage by Harry Coyle and his crew. Plunkett going deep for Williams. Almost intercepted, but the Jets ran into each other. 35, Curry Glenn, 10th-round pick from Minnesota, and Russell Carter.
A very heads-up move by Dokie Williams. Doki will realize right about here that he is covered. Now watch him get a little bump right in here on Glenn to keep him out of position to catch that football. Now that's smart. That's something that's hard to teach. Unable to keep his position, and he actually lost the ball, bumped into Johnny Lynn there at the end of that. But I think had he not gotten that bump, might well have caught that pass, intercepted it.
And Gastineau got him, so Gastineau has his first sack of 1985, bad thumb and all.
And this crowd responds to Gastineau.
Or just a play with that encumbrance is something to say for Gastineau.
He's taken some real heat from his teammates. He said when he broke that hand, he said, "I won't let the pain bother me." I talked to him. He said he checked himself into the hospital a few nights ago. He said the pain got so great. He said all I knew was that I had to get somewhere where they could help me with that.
No, 4th down, and Guy will have to punt it. Cedric Minter, Boise State, standing at the 15. Toward the sidelines and out of bounds. That'll be marked inside the 30-yard line at the 27. All right, to bring you up to 1 in overtime, St. Louis beat Cleveland on a field goal. We'll do the rest after this play. O'Brien to the sidelines, and a short gain of about 5 yards, and that one to Townsell, the first catch by a Jet wide receiver today. Back to the scoreboard. Kansas City a big winner by 20 at New Orleans. Pittsburgh bombing Indianapolis 45-3. Detroit 28, Atlanta 27. 38-28 the Bears a winner at Tampa Bay. 26-20 New England over Green Bay. Here it's 28-0. O'Brien has a man open, Townsell, and JoJo back-to-back catches and a first down at the Jets 45. 2 more scores. These are the other late games today. Denver a 16-10 leader against the Rams at Anaheim just down the freeway, and San Diego 14, Buffalo 9. The Bills with 3 field goals there in the 3rd period at Buffalo.
The Jets very happy to have JoJo Townsell. Townsell, of course, 2 years here with the Express. He said this is the first time he's been back to Los Angeles as a visitor at UCLA, and of course with the Express, the home team.
Boy, in heavy traffic, O'Brien unloading that one to the biggest man he could find, the 220-pound Tony Page, and he's wrestled down by Reggie McKenzie and company. Howie Long was in applying pressure again. McKenzie 54 in on that tackle. He's part of the McKenzie twins, and it really is one of the many terrific stories out of this football summer. He was a 10th round draft pick. His twin brother Raleigh was an 11th round pick of the Skins. They both made the team. We talked to Reggie. He says, since I'm the older brother, I'm 3 minutes older, I called the younger brother on when I made it and he'd made it too, and what a conversation that was. Should make a commercial out of it. Page straight ahead for just a couple. It'll be 3rd down and about 6. Next figures to be a good one. Third down, short 5 to Schuler on a tight end screen. 40, 35, and Turan bumps him out of bounds. Well done by the Jets. And a first down yardage. Schuler's had a busy day.
The Jets have used a lot of roll and half roll to get away from the pressure earlier. This is that kind of movement, but it's a little throwback to the backside to the tight end. Good play. 2 linemen waiting over there. Some good play acting by Schuler to get some room. Bumped out by Turan, but that's a first down, and finally the Jets are getting something going here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, they were down here just once before, and that's when Turan intercepted the pass the other way, 76 yards. Freeman McNeil to the 29, and a former rival at USC, Rod Martin, saw the ball loose, but after McNeil was down, McKenzie and Pickell made the tackle.
Try and put yourself.
You got Bobby Humphrey and Lamb Jones inside. For a yard goes McNeil right into the grass, but Piquel, and you set that up, Merlin, at the start of the game. One of the keys for the Raiders, how well would Piquel, now the starter at nose tackle, replacing the veteran Reggie Kinlaw now with the Seahawks. How would he do against Joe Fields, one of the better centers in the game? Well, his grades have to be very good.
Well, the grades for that whole defense are very good, and it is a little hard to judge. The Jets offense has certainly not been overpowering, but I think mostly because of the pressure put on by the black shooter defense.
O'Brien finds a man open at Schuler with his 8th catch of the game. Schuler, who had 68 last year to lead the Jets, picks up his 8th. With less than a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter, the Jets driving. Walton sees his team set up first down at the 14 of the Raiders. Quick toss to Freeman McNeil, and it didn't fool Lyle Alzado. Mike Davis was there to get a piece of it as well, and then Alzado to secure it.
That play intended to go outside, but Davis, up close to the line, penetrated so quickly that he brought his man upfield. McNeil trying to cut in. No way to go outside. Literally fell across the feet of his own man, and Alzado there to finish it off.
And that play brings to an end the 3rd period here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Raiders 28, Jets nothing. Back after these messages from your local station. But just as that lady passing through, the blonde gal in the white blouse is Diane Long, Howie's wife, and to her right, the brunette in the yellow blouse is Carol Piquel. Not there is Gail McElroy, Van McElroy's wife, presented the McElroys with Ashley, a 7-pound, 13-ounce daughter, just this last Monday. So number 26, Van McElroy, playing with his cleats atop the grass.
Well atop.
The Jets trying to get on the board. 2nd and 11. And Alzado and Rod Martin chewing up O'Brien. The 8th sack for the Raiders today. Yep, that says it all, Joe Walton. Boy, O'Brien had no chance at all.
O'Brien will take some real knocks for his performance today, but believe me, if you can't hold the defensive lineman out of there, very hard to throw that football and very hard to concentrate downfield as you must to find those receivers.
Johnny Hector comes in for Freeman McNeil. O'Brien in trouble again. Chased down by Sean Jones, number 99, 6'7" and 265 pounds, and lightning quick. And that's 9 sacks for the Raiders. Boy, they're getting close to a record. They got almost a whole quarter to get more, knowing that the Jets have to pass.
Well, when you get them like that in a must-pass situation, they're still sacks. That one might have been a baggie, though. That wasn't quite a full sack. He was running for the line.
Relatively new statistic. 12 is the NFL record in a game. This will be 39 yards for Leahy if it's not a fake. And it's no good. Wide to the left. A 39-yard miss. Leahy was dead center and hit the crossbar from 56 at the end of the first half. Timeout. 100th game. Head coach in the National Football League, Tom Flory, sees his Raiders commandingly ahead, 28-0. Just under 14 minutes remaining, and with a missed field goal, the Raiders take over at their 22, and Frank Hawkins for a couple to the 24-yard line. Kyle Clifton led the defensive attack for the Jets. Well, the 3-4 defense being used by the Raiders and now the Jets, Merlin. That means that all the American Conference teams have gone to the 3-4. You played as a 4-3. Do you see that as a burial of the 4-3 defense? So few use it.
I'm not so sure that it's dead forever. We still see it, of course, on the passing downs. And as more and more teams go to throwing on first down, we may actually see a resurrection of that 4-3 defense.
2 teams tomorrow night. Dallas and Washington still use it. Quick toss to Dokie Williams, who's had a good day, and he's hit immediately by the rookie Kerry Glenn out of Minnesota.
But even the Dallas Cowboys, where the 4-man line has been almost sacred, are now experimenting with 3-man line and spacing and putting Randy White up almost as a moving linebacker, almost the kind of thing that Bud Carson wants to do with Gastineau and the Jets. Just a further comment on that Jet offense. Well, before we do that, the man in the glasses right behind the line there, the heavyset one, Earl Leggett, whose defensive linemen have sacked the quarterback. He's got to be thrilled out there. He's got to be a very happy man.
Former Bear defensive lineman Marcus Allen with a flag down, diving for what appeared to be a first down. We'll see whether or not a penalty's been called. Ron Farrow, 74, with a tackle holding Los Angeles.
Just a further, one of those people who has really had injury problems over the last 4 serious injuries that have kept him from being as effective as he should be. I was looking at a quote from the Jets team doctor the other day, who said in essence that Klecko may just be too strong for his own good, has worked so hard at lifting weights that the muscles almost tend to overpower the structure of the body. Right now, just coming off a hamstring injury that he suffered running a timed 40-yard dash in training camp.
Well, first down with the penalty at the 26-yard line. Plunkett going for the bomb to Dokie Williams. Oh, another magnificent throw, hooking up Plunkett and Williams 3 times today. They've been right on the money.
With Cliff Branch on injured reserve and Malcolm Barnwell gone, the load is shifting to Dokie Williams, and Dokie has responded beautifully, and that is, I'm sure Hal Davis has got a big smile on his face up here in the press box. That is the vertical game. And toward the end of last year, that vertical game was not as active in the arsenal as they wanted it to be. Well, it certainly appears to be back.
41 yards on the play, a perfect throw, and a first down at the Jets 33. 11:37 left, fourth quarter. Marcus Allen to the 28, maybe the 27-yard line, a gain of about 5. Well, some of you, we're going to send you on to action that is a bit closer. Denver and the Los Angeles Rams. Here it's 28-0 Raiders. And for the rest of you, those of you who are Raider fans have to be happy with that score. And for the Jets, perhaps with the hope that in this final 11 minutes something more positive will develop for the men in green and white. Plunkett, the quick throw to Jesse Hester, and the rookie pays for it as he's drilled by Johnny Lynn. That'll be close to a first down. It is a first down at the 22. First catch for Hester, who we were talking about Cliff Branch. It's interesting that Hester has identically the same build. 5'11", 170 pounds, sprinter, world-class speed.
7 yards on the pass.
And that's what the Raiders are looking for. The man who will replace a great star for them through the years, Cliff Branch. Plunkett under pressure, almost lost the football, as in comes Joe Klecko again and put a star on his back. Klecko, Marty Lyons to pressure Plunkett, and they two.
A cleansing taking place out there. You definitely find out who the players are. We know Klecko is one of them.
2nd and 15 for Plunkett. Over the middle to Allen. You saw him in motion, and Marcus Allen is inside the 15. Oops, he may have been hurt on that tackle. Well, not serious. He got him in the back and comes off under his own power. A 13-yard play. They sent Allen in motion, gave a little fake as if he was going long, and then cut over the middle open. First down yardage.
Being attended to by Dr. Rosenfeld on the sideline, but Allen cutting back against the grain, finding some room. Kirk Springs, 21. Able to get a piece of it. Got Submarine on the other side. It looked like he rolled across his back. They have bruised his back when he hit the ground. Ooh, there it was right there, reaching for that hip or the back area.
33, Kenny King from Oklahoma replaces Allen. First down at the 13. No, check that. 3rd and 2 at the 13. And Kenny King, I'm not sure he made it. Good defensive play by the linebacker Kyle Clifton.
Lance Bell.
4th down situation. Very close to a first down.
Fans want another touchdown, leading 28-0, 4th down and a yard.
Not a bad time to test.
Who is only 15 behind the number 2 man, Biletnikoff, the sterling wide receiver yesteryear for the Raiders. It will be a 30-yard attempt out of the hold of Wilson. And it's right there. So just what the Raiders needed. 3 more. Timeout. 8 minutes and 29 seconds left. 31-0 for the home team. Series, the Dodgers and Angels, are a subway series, the Mets and Yankees. But how about an I-70 series in Missouri? The Royals and the Cardinals. That's a possibility as well. With a 31-0 lead, Barr lofts it high. Flag is down, and Kerry Glenn will not run it out. It appeared that the Raiders were offside. Well, Merlin, while they move back to kick it over again for the Jets, I mean, you had the experiences both ways as a member of the Los Angeles Rams. You were with some dismal teams who started very poorly, and you were with some great teams. What's the effect of a shellacking like this to open a season?
You don't get a lot of good out of it. We can tell you that for sure. The real pain for Walton is he had the feeling that his team had definitely improved off that performance last week. They had not played well in the early preseason. He really wanted them to have a better day today. No question about that. The depressing thing is that they don't have that many things to look at and say, here are things we did well. They'll go back and look at the film. They won't be nearly as bad in the film as they are on the scoreboard. On the other hand, the Raiders are not going to be as pleased with the film as they are, because they'll see mistakes that they've made. But the depressing thing is what it does to the morale of this team. I think that's the thing that would scare me most if I were standing on that sideline with Bill Walton or with Joe Walton right now.
Does that put pressure on?
They definitely need that wide receiver help.
After the 5-yard penalty, Davis was offside. This one returnable. Kerry Glenn, 15, and slides down at the 25-yard line. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, Marcus Allen getting some attention on that back and appears to be walking all right. Rushes for 77, 30 more catching, through that one terrific pass for 16. That totals out at 123 yards. Oh, he's a century player. You can just count on him getting 100 or more one way or another.
What kind of ratings do you get as a quarterback if you're 1 for 1 with 16 yards, no touchdown?
What a piece of weaponry that gives the Raiders. O'Brien still at quarterback. Freeman McNeil, the whistle had blown the play dead, doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Here it's 31-0. Let's check elsewhere as we go back to Bob Costas. He's eating away at that Toronto lead, but it's 1.5 with still plenty of time. The Yankees have 6-7 games left. O'Brien wonders if he will. 9 sacks to match one of the 9s on Sean Jones' jersey. O'Brien has got the green numerals and a lot of Coliseum turf green on his uniform.
And I believe that that's a new record for sacks against this Jets team. Been a leaking sieve, one handful of jersey. That's all it took. O'Brien is going to have rug burns from being on that rug all day long today.
3rd down and 19 as Jones. Boy, he's a terrific man to bring off the bench. Young, 6'7", 265 in speed. Born in Kingston, Jamaica. Played his high school ball in Montclair, New Jersey. Time called by the Jets was 7:02. O'Brien. And Sohn can't quite make the diving grab on the sidelines. Well, we show that matchup. Sohn, 2 lifetime catches in the NFL. Townsell, first game in the NFL against 2 cornerbacks. They're not in there now. Hayes and Haynes, who had between them 68 interceptions. That had to tell you something.
This man has had a long day too. Jennings, Clee Montgomery done a good job for the Raiders on returns today.
Replacing Greg Pruitt. There is no longer for the Raiders. Good kick, good and high. Montgomery lets it bounce, and Jennings will take the added yards to the 35.
Ball is down at the 35.
And a timeout with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left here in Los Angeles. 31-0 Raiders.
No question about that. And the other thing is to keep your own enthusiasm up. A head coach has to be a great salesman, and he has to make believers out of that team. He has got to go to work on their ego and their mental attitude, and he's got to start now. He can't really mope around. He can't feel sorry for himself. He's got to get them going.
Does he go to a key player like a Gastineau or Klecko and say, you got to help me out in this regard? Don't let the young guys get discouraged. Derek Jensen gets the call and barely back to the line of scrimmage.
But no question about that. And you see the score just down the road here as the Broncos continue to stay ahead of the Rams. You lean on those veteran players, but this is a relatively young team. They've lost some of that leadership, and they've got a lot of youngsters. Well, there's one that you have to count on right there, and there are some solid leaders on this team. Their job gets a lot tougher in this situation.
Second down, 11. Jensen again, and he's ripped down by Ben Rudolph. Another loss for Jensen. With 6 minutes left in the game here in Los Angeles, let's go to about terrific baseball races. 3 of the 4 within 2 games between first and second place. From the end zone live on third down, Kenny King slammed at the 30-yard line. It'll be 4th and 15, and the Raiders will have to punt. It is interesting about this area today, Merlin. Talk about sports saturation. The Dodger Stadium is almost within our sight line here high atop the Coliseum. That big game against the Mets here in the Coliseum, and then down the freeway at Anaheim. 3 major sports events all within about, well, I guess Ray Guy in his career has kicked for 21 miles. It's all within a 21-mile radius. We'll see which one won the attendance battle. It's going to be close. Boy, did Hawkins deliver a good blow blocking for Guy. Fair catch by Cedric Minter at the 18-yard line. Good 51-yard punt and no return for Ray Guy. He hasn't lost his kicking touch.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, the Raiders would like to thank the Southern California Dots.
57,123. I don't know if that's the actual attendance or tickets sold.
A special coupon here today.
Tickets sold was 61,000, we understand. So that is in attendance 57,000. So that would have to beat the Dodger Stadium crowd because Dodger Stadium does not seat that many. We'll hear from Anaheim later. O'Brien quickly to the outside to Townsell across the 30-yard line for the Raiders.
This is a rare,
the Jets, rather.
A rare opportunity for a lot of the veteran players on the Raider roster who are now out of the ball game. Take a little rest. Normally they're going the full distance, but Tom Flores and his assistants using this opportunity to continue to develop young players on the roster. But at 45, you really don't have that full depth all across the field.
O'Brien lobbing the ball incomplete to Kurt Sohn. Yeah, one of those replacements in there, number 43, Sammy Seal for the Raiders, who was a wide receiver, and they've converted him to a defensive back. We were talking with Mike Haynes yesterday, and he said they should have had Seal there all along. He said this guy can play the position.
They say he's made an amazing transition, and those are 2 players now. We talked about Junkin earlier, going from linebacker to tight end, and here's a wide receiver who's gone over to play on defense now. Now with the 45-man roster, you're not going to see as many experiments. I'd kind of call that an experiment. In these 2 cases, these athletes have warranted further looks, and they're going to stay on the roster at those positions.
Schuler incomplete and no flag. The defender apparently looking back at the ball. That's all that's necessary. Mike Davis.
Broken up by Mike Davis.
And that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for O'Brien with time running out 4 minutes and 24 seconds left. 31-0 the Raiders all the way. They've got 7 in the first quarter, and we're leading 21-0 at the half. Stacey Turan 76-yard touch. Red Hot wins again, so they lead by 1.5 coming to Los Angeles or to Anaheim for a 3-game series. Someone gets open. There he is. Townsell, and as he hit, took quite a blow from one of the Raiders, Van McElroy. And there's the new Papa. A stunning hit, but not until Townsell had a first down.
Watch Townsell get off the ground here. The smack right there. It's pride that gets you up off the ground. I don't think you're breathing too well if you take a hit like that, but you get up for pride. Townsell up off the ground quickly. I think that hurt McElroy almost as much as it did Townsell.
Pro Bowler last year, McElroy out of Baylor. Townsell with 4 catches now for the Jets and a first down on that one. Over the middle, open is Schuler, who's had a big day receiving. That'll be his 9th catch at the 50-yard line. The ball free, but after the whistle. That action through the final weeks of this baseball year. Don't forget the American and National League Championship Series, both on NBC. Knocked away. Good defense by the Raiders. Intended for Townsell. Turan, another big play for the second-year man from Notre Dame. All the scores, in case you're just joining us, Houston beat Miami 26-23. Seattle 28-24 over Cincinnati. Giants winning 21-0 against the Eagles. 28-21 Minnesota upset San Francisco. 27-24 in overtime for the Cardinals at Cleveland. 47-27 Kansas City at New Orleans. It was Pittsburgh 45, Indianapolis 3. 28-27 the Lions against the Falcons. 38-28 the Bears over the Buccaneers. And 26-20 the Patriots beat the Packers. O'Brien just eluded another sack. Throwing intercepted by Jack Squirek. And Squirek, a star of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, had that touchdown just before the half, intercepting Joe Theismann. Takes it to the 35-yard line. There's Squirek from Illinois. His Illini not as happy yesterday as they were defeated by the USC Trojans.
What a long day for number 7 Kenny O'Brien. Watch him as he's trying to escape from this pressure. Townsend goes by him. 57. Oh well, back over here now. He took a real shot, but a bad throw. And I'll tell you that you got to wonder at this point if maybe he wouldn't be better getting out of there. It's been that bad a day.
Pat Ryan, the backup quarterback. There's Kenny King getting a good block. 40, and King out to the 44-yard line. Derek Jensen really fired a hammer on one of the Jets. A classic block to free King for 9.
Jensen gets most of his shots on special teams, but this is an opportunity for him to get in and hone it up a little bit on offense.
He's the answer to a trivia question in the NFL. The shortest kickoff return for a touchdown. Shortest ever. 33 yards. 33 yards.
Onside kick.
Onside kick after a penalty. And he just took the line drive, went the other way. You don't have to wait for it to go the 10. We have a timeout. We'll be right back. 31-0 Raiders. The country talked a lot about Villanova's Wildcats and Rolly Massimino's national championship basketball team of last year. He played football there. Not many folks can say that in recent times. Villanova. Howie Long. And he is a total player. We've read other names, called other names throughout the course of the day, but a lot of those plays made possible because Long did his job. I remember a guy wore 74 with the Rams, Merlin Olsen, who did the same kind of thing. Lendl beats McEnroe for the U.S. Open title. So 2 Czechoslovakians, Lendl and Mandlikova, are the United States Open champions in 1985. Kenny King, the former Oklahoma Sooner, into Jets territory to the 44-yard line before Harry Hamilton can chase him down. Make it the 43 and another dozen yards for the Raider offense. Walton, former tight end, Giants and the Redskins, now 49 in his 3rd year. And I guess he had to know, Merlin, coming in, that with all the other problems and the lack of personal, hey, you can't, jockeys don't win races. You got to have the horse.
You got to have horses. He's a fighter. He's a fighter. He's not going to quit. I don't think you'll see these Jets quit either, but they've sure got a tough hill to climb.
Jensen straight ahead on first down as the Raiders try to eat up the final few seconds left here at the Coliseum. Now Tom Flores take his position now this next week after an easy win.
I think his job in some ways, although it's so much easier, is equally important. He's got to make sure his team does not look at this and say, oh, hey, it's going to be easy from here on out, because this is just one game. You've just put one mark in that W column. You've got to put a bunch more. And if you look at what's happened in their division, if San Diego goes on to win, if Denver goes on to win, all 5 teams in that AFC West will have won their opening game. So you got to win just to stay even.
Plunkett didn't go right down to a knee, so in came Charles Jackson, 55, and said, hey, if you're not going to get down, then your game, I'll tackle you. And Plunkett didn't like it, but Jim trying to get as many seconds as he could, and the final seconds tick away. Don't forget the Raiders play Kansas City Thursday night, so they don't have a lot of time to savor this one. Jim Plunkett, and the Raiders offense certainly good enough, and the defense was brilliant. And Los Angeles posts a 31-0 win on Tom Flores' 100th day as head coach in the National Football League.
I'm sure these two coaches, in Flores' case, I'm sure he's feeling some compassion. He's been on the losing end of a few ball games, not that many. His road has been one of great success. You see him go over to offer the hand to Joe Walton, put an arm on his shoulder. I think he knows the kind of pain that Joe has lived with on that sideline, and what is still ahead for him as he goes through the film and gets his team on the plane and heads home.
Well, there's a couple hours from this point until the Jets are all in that same airplane, and that's the 2 hours where Walton, his coaches, have to huddle themselves, figure their strategy already, not just for next week, but for the season and for the morale of this young team. Well, it's been an interesting first day of this 1985 season, and to bring you right up to date, let's go to Bob Costas and NFL '85.